So I have done self-inquiry, my assumptions are gone. Then what should we do next? What should I do? So the purpose of self-inquiry is to expose your false self-identity. Your self-identity is based on false assumptions. You build an identity. Self-identity has a record, history, memory. The ego lives on self-identity, history. No history, no ego. The child has no history, no ego. Gnani has no history, no ego. So you have built a false self-identity based on a set of events using I thought. It's all false because I thought was not present in the experience. One who didn't have experience claims that I thought, then builds a record and says, how many years I'm suffering? How many years? See, I have so much of experience. I've done so much of sadhana. So much of experience is claimed by somebody who was not there. So you're living a false identity, a false life. And false life is what makes you miserable. The process of self-inquiry, Guru exposes your false notions. Are you the name? Are you the body? Are you the relationships? Who is you? So you claim that I am doing something. Who is the doer? In doing, there's no doer. In seeing, there's no seer. In hearing, there's no hearer. The seeing, doing, all our experiences, the ego will come after experience and using your past record builds up a history. I did something. It's a recorder. It's a claimer. It's not a doer. So we have a problem. I'm the doer. I'm the thinker. I'm the knower. And more importantly, I'm the sufferer. Enjoyer is okay. I'm suffering. Also understand, all experiences are in the now. They happen now. All ego is based on the past. It is not real. The past is getting superimposed on the present. When it's happening, ego is not there. When it happened, ego comes into picture, claims the experience. What kind of false lives you are leading? Completely illusion. Who are you? Are you the doer? Are you the experiencer? Are you the knower? So who is there doing? Who is there experiencing? Who is there knowing? The knower alone is there. Knower does it. Knower says, I am doer when body functions something. Ultimately, knower has to say, I completed the job. I am doing this. I did this. The knower has to say. So knower, body is eliminated by consciousness, knowing principle. So body becomes alive. So knower confuses the body as I. Because body is alive. The knower stands as a doer after the action. So the knower has the ignorance. The Sakshi has no ignorance. The Sakshi has no ignorance. Sakshi is Atma, witness, knowing principle. The knower is confused. Knower is based on the very fact it's called knower because it is based on the knowledge. No knowledge, no knower. Knowledge is nothing but record of history. So the knower has a problem. Knower stands as a doer, thinks that I have done something. Knower stands as a mind and says, I am experiencer. Knower stands as intellect and says, I am the knower. Body, mind, intellect, identity is a confusion created by the knower. Because the entire existence of a knower is based on the memory, knowledge. So now, are you the knower? Are you the body? Why you are not the body? Already discussed. Why you are not the mind? Is already discussed. Why you are not the intellect? You are discussed. Are you the body, mind, or intellect? Because the body status is changing, mind status is changing, intellect status is changing, but I has not changed. I has never changed. I am the unchanging I. And whereas body, mind, intellect is changing. So how I can confuse the changing I, changing principle with unchanging? The changing principle is called me, the body, mind, intellect. What are you? Nanu, nanembudu, nanalla, ideha, manabuddhi, nanalla, Sachidanandatma, Shivanannane, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect, I'm consciousness. Now, where is the confusion? The confusion is coming because every experience is recorded as I did something. A history is built, a log record is built, a memory is built. Your identity is built on that memory, not in the present moment. In the present moment, there's no doer, there's no enjoyer, there's no knower, there's only knowing. There's only experiencing in the present moment. Experience rise and fall in consciousness. Only knowing is there. Knowing is only reality. So where is the problem? Where is the confusion coming from? The knower is in ignorance. The knower is buddhi, intellect. It has not analyzed this whole phenomena, what's happening. Ultimately, intellect is the master of the whole thing. So that's why questioning is done by the knower. Questioning is done for the knower. Are you there in the doing? Are you there in the experiencing? Are you there? Who was there all the time? Knowing is there. So you are not there. Knower also is not there. Knower is also based on his knowledge, record. And knower states changes. Yesterday I didn't know chemistry. Today I know chemistry. Knower also is changing status. So knower also is changing. But I doesn't change. Has I changed in your life? No, it continues. Knower is changing. Knower, because knower is dependent on knowledge. Intellect means knowledge. So knower, yesterday I was ignorant of chemistry. Today I am knowledgeable of chemistry. My status has changed. But knowing will never change. So in any experience, there are two parts. The object part and pure subject part. And third part is false subject part. There's an object thought, there's a false subject thought, and real subject. For example, this is banana is an object thought. I know this is banana. Right? So this is banana is an object thought. This is banana. I know is a pure subject, Sakshi. This is mango. This is apple. I know. The I know is a pure subject. That's Sakshi. I know never changes. The object thought keeps on changing. Ego is a subject thought. So in any experience, a subject thought, object thought, and experience thought is there. But I know never changes. I saw apple. Apple is there. I am the seer. Here I means body, mind, and intellect. So that's an apple thought, a subject thought. But I know apple. I know this is apple. I know this subject. The I know thought is there in the background of all the thoughts. Other things are changing. It's not a thought. It's there always. There's no thought. Thought comes and goes. The subject thought comes and goes. Subject thought is a root thought. Ego. So I know is there. Ramana Maharshi calls this I know as I. Real I. In Tamil, he used this word called Nanu Nane. In my talk, I use as Sachidanandatma Shivananu Nane. I am I. That I am I never changes. I am I is there in the background of all the thoughts. That's called Sakshi. And everything is changing. Intellect is changing, mind is changing, body is changing. Then how can you claim that I am the ego thought? Because of memory. Memory keeps a very good record is kept. And using the record, ego thought claims that I only did something. Whereas only the self was there in all the experiences. Ego was never there. Ego just comes and claims the presence of the self as me. So in any experience, there is I and me. The me is in related to body, mind, and intellect. And ego survives on me. But ego claims I. Ego is coming and going. Ego was never there in real experience. So how can you confuse what is changing with unchanging? How can you confuse the fellow who was not there in the experience? Say, I am that changing fellow. Ego. So now, this discrimination has to be sharp. This is called Nitya Anitya Viveka, Atma Anatma Viveka. Very sharp discrimination. What is Atma, what is Anatma? So after discrimination, what I will do? After discrimination, if you are clear, you have to change your identity. From false identity based on records, you have to claim that I am the Sakshi. I am the knowing principle. I am not the memory record. I am not the false I. Who has to claim this? Who can claim this? The knower has to claim this. Because knower is the combination of Chidabhasa and Sakshi. It's called Jivatma. The intellect has to be corrected to real identity. So then what will happen? A shift has to happen. The criminal is reformed. Now, no longer he is able to claim any experience as false experience. In doing, he says, only doing is there, doer is not there. In experiencing, there's only experience is there, experiencer is not there. Who is there all the time is Atma, I am the Atma. He will claim very clearly when a sharp intellect has developed. Now, what happened to you? All your past records of for 40 years, false memory record, is junk. It's useful for practical purposes, but you cannot claim it as me. You see, I am suffering for last 40 years. Who is suffering? A non-existent fellow called ego is suffering. Has Sakshi suffered any time? No. I am free from suffering. Who is the doer? Nobody is the doer. The doing is there. For whom is the karma? There is no karma. So you'll become karma, you'll become free from suffering, you'll become doership, then you'll have a life will be beautiful. You'll do everything without doership. You'll know everything without doership. Then who is there? Only Ishvara, universal consciousness operating through that body-mind complex. All your karma ends. So Upanishad says, Vidyate Hriday Granthi Chidyate Sarva Samshayaha Tasmin Drashte Paravare. Means all your doubts will vanish. Your questions will not be answered. Questioner will disappear. The question is the ego, the doubting Thomas. You will not get answer for all the questions. In fact, Guru will never give you answer for any question. Guru will only question your answers to catch that fellow who is false thing. Vidyate Hriday Granthi. Hriday Granthi means the knot which joins two things, Atma and Anatma. Unchanging and changing, something is mixing up. What is mixing up? Only Adnana. Who has Adnana? In the intellect. So what has happened? Intellect has to clear stand. I am the Atma. So the stand has to change in the intellect. Actually, who changes stand? Jivatma changes stand. Intellect itself is the instrument. As Jivatma, you have to say, I am the knowing principle. I am not the body, mind, and intellect. What stand you have to change now? Nanu, Nanembudu, Nanalla, Ideha, Manabuddhi, Nanalla, Sachidanandatma, Shivanannani, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. The Jivatma has to say clearly, I am the Atma Jyoti. Ego doesn't say, ego is false. So when you say, I am the Atma Jyoti, I am the Jivatma, I am not the body, mind, intellect, your karma ends. That clarity can come through Jnana only, with the self-enquiry only. The stand has to change. Who changes the stand? Not the ego. The intellect. Intellect, it's not intellect, it's Jivatma using the intellect. That's why Jnana alone liberates, is the teaching of Vedanta. Not the karma, not the action, not the practice. Jnana alone liberates. So with Jnana, you have to break. Bandha vasana, you have to break. Bhoga vasana can be there. So why do you do Nityasa? You sit, your mind will come and earlier vasanas will, already records will come. Say, I did something, I am suffering. Who is suffering? I am Atma, I am the Sakshi. So that you have to apply in your life. You have to change your stand and apply in your life. That is the effect of self-enquiry. Is there any question? Is there any question for on Zoom?
For any action, we have one memory that is created. How Correct. To avoid the creation of memory so that
you don't have to avoid the creation of memory. You don't have to avoid the creation of memory. You have to understand I am not the memory. Stop. Are you the memory?
No.
Creation of memory is so useful, no? Otherwise, you'll keep on drinking coffee. If you forget you didn't drink a coffee, you'll keep on drinking coffee. Your stomach will be spoiled. Memory is useful. But your problem is not memory. Problem is being used by the memory. Memory is very useful. Why you stop memory? Then if you have stopped memory, then dementia or something has to happen. Why you are doing that? Memory is useful. Use the memory, but don't be used by the memory. You'll be used by the memory because in memory you are recorded I. The I thought is not I. I thought is an object. Memory is very useful. Don't try to destroy the memory. If you really want to destroy the memory, I'll give you some 10 ways of doing that. Yes. Whatever. Ultimately, you don't associate. Associate means I, the doership with that. Don't even judge. There's no doer. There's no enjoyer. There's no knower. It's happening. So how it's happening is the question. Understand? Our entire life is run by programs. I don't run my life. Our subconscious impressions run our life. So subconscious impression is there for coffee, early morning, 6 o'clock coffee. Impressions rise. Thought will rise. Body will go. Drink a cup of coffee. A recording is done. I drank a cup of coffee. Impression, expression, again impression. Impression, action, experience, and impression.
Without subconscious deep impression, without the enjoyer.
There's no enjoyer. There's no enjoying is there. No. Without enjoyer, this once this cycle starts, there's no enjoyer now. This enjoyer, whatever concept of enjoyer is there earlier. Now every moment is present moment. In the present moment, you are blissful. There's no enjoyer.
Previously also, if I didn't enjoy the coffee, why would it go into my mind?
I enjoyed the coffee is that ego has come and claimed that experience because there's a sense of subject. So why did earlier recording happen? There was an enjoyer. Ego claimed the enjoyership. There was happiness in the mind. Ego claimed the happiness and said, I am the enjoyer. Now, after Jnana, enjoyer, doer, and knower disappear. Only knowing is there. In that knowing, the bliss is there. Ananda. Any questions? Any questions for people on Zoom? Kanti, Varun.
No, Guruji.
I will see, and then it's a decision made, should I do it coffee or not? That's what the program will anyway still run the same.
So the program is running still, but the intellect is, what happens now after Dana? So earlier Dana, it was a continuous mechanical program, unconscious program. After Dana, intellect has become sharp. Before Dana, intellect was working under the influence of ego. So the intellect is working under Sakshi, then if it's harmful habit, it can get cut. Intellect says, no, Sakshi is not biased. Ego was biased. Okay. So earlier habits can dissolve or may continue also. But intellect starts working directly under the influence of Sakshi. There's no creation of I am doer, I am enjoyer, I am the knower. And the decisions will become much more clearer and simpler. Because intellect is not cluttered with the ego. Intellect earlier was working under the influence of ego, which is a past record. Now intellect is working present moment, moment to moment, present moment. Because Sakshi is present moment. Present moment, what is the right decision will happen. Maybe some vasanas may continue to influence, but gradually they will come down. So you'll become free. All those programs, so many programs are there. All of them become invalid. No, you are not the program. No, you are the Sakshi, Atma. So there are so many programs. So what? I'm not the program. I'm the Sakshi. So when the programs come up, you will take a decision whether you have to execute or not. Because your intellect is under the influence of Sakshi now. Earlier intellect was under the influence of ego. So your life will definitely change. Is the same question or a different question? Okay, then you stop this. Yeah. Okay, anybody else has a question? Otherwise, you stop this question.
Was knowing happening, and I am that knowing that is happening, or knowing principle, right?
Yeah.
There is no knower.
Correct.
Okay. But I understand this, Guruji, but then I again fall back to identity, ego. So I have to do nididhyasa to get rid of the
You have to
impression
get rid of
to some extent.
Get rid of Varun.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't have to get rid of ego.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Guru.
Next question.
So, Prabhu, if you're saying the